You're struggling to stay disciplined while trading? Don't worry, I got 3 solutions for you.
We're good to go. All right, so here's somebody here. They did gold futures, and what they were supposed to do is basically identify market structure. Now, when we're looking at market structure, we are looking for essentially the break and retest method for entries. We call it BART in my training. It's also in my free course. Anytime new structure is created, the next thing that you want to look at is the candlesticks. So once you're able to understand price action, you want to start becoming more familiarized with candlesticks. And that's something that we're going to be discussing actually this upcoming Monday. I have a really good class with economy. It's called The Art of Price Action, or any of my price action classes. And then with my VIP students, you guys know I'm really big on dissecting price action. You guys have access to that. I don't cover it in my free course, but here's an easy, if you can't afford it, that's fine. I'm just going to explain it in simple terms until you're able to elevate your trading game. So whenever you're looking for like a buy, essentially what you want to see are the candlesticks showing rejection at the bottom of the candle, okay? Because the wicks are an indication of where price attempted to go, but it was not able to do that. So for example, price attempted to push down this level of support in this market structure, this new structure that has created, but it was unable to do that because the buyers are taking over. So that's showing you that there is a lot more buy pressure coming in. Now they have their volume bars up, but your volume bars are not going to display until that candle closes. All right, so you can see we have really high volume here. This candle is one of my favorites. It is a reversal or like a pullback candle. But you see that rejection, you see it. Now, anytime, if you're a little bit more familiarized with candlesticks, if you're in an uptrend and you see a bearish engulfing candle with a wick, I would highly recommend waiting for the next candle to see what it's going to do, just to confirm that that area of support is being respected. And you can go down to a smaller time frame, or you can stay on the time frame that you're on. You'll have to back test that with whatever it is that you're trading. So you'll see here where this particular student got their resistance level here. They see what the market retested. Now, they did not identify this retest, but something I do want to show is that if you just look left, you can see that price was essentially just retesting that area. Okay, that's what price was doing. So sorry y'all, forgive me. I'm trying to share this. Let me see. Live on YouTube. I should probably be better at this. I'm like, they'll catch the replay. But let me try to do that. 1 second, y'all. 1 second. All right, I'll take care of you. There's some fried shrimp, but I got you. Sorry guys. I told you, mom life. Um Here we go. All right. So it's on Instagram too. I don't know how nicely it's going to look on Instagram. But anyway, so you can see where price came back to this area. Now, to avoid that manipulation, what you want to do is look left. And sometimes you may need to go to a higher time frame, or you just may need to scroll down. Um, no, the beginner course has nothing to do with candlestick patterns. You're just making it difficult, if I have to be honest, because literally all you have to do is listen to what I'm saying right now, and you would be able to grasp what I'm like, literally what I'm teaching. So I would say try again. All right, so you can see here where we have the really nice wick rejection, like I just stated, right? So what did I state about that wick rejection? I stated that when you have that strong wick at the bottom at a level of support, that is letting you know that that is an indication that it's going to go up. Now, this was not identified, but if I were to correct this, I would add this level here so that they can just be mindful that that is what was being retested. Just in case if they were in the trade and they thought that it was reversing, it was not reversing. It was just making a deeper retracement back to that level, and it gave a double retest. And anytime the market does give a double retest to an area, there usually is a strong impulse that occurs after, okay? So over here it was a little wonky, which is, I mean, that's what it is. It's not going to be perfect. So, you know, what I would do here, if I was back testing this, I would check to see what days this was, where this activity was like it, and see if there's a behavioral pattern. So let's say every Tuesday gold does that. You start to notice that gold does that on Tuesdays and it doesn't give a nicer movement till later in the day. Well, then now you know that's what you need to do. You need to leave Tuesdays alone or wait till later in the day to trade if it works with your schedule. They come back, they do a good job identifying the retest. This was not bad at all. Again, they did this with gold futures. Give me 1 second. I'm going to pull up another one that they did. All right. Here's another one right here where they had to identify market structure. Now, again, they're doing this with our S&P futures. And what they're doing on the downtrend is trying to identify the lows and identifying the retest. Okay, that's what they're looking for. So you can see here on this last low, the market came back, but it did not retest underneath that market structure. All right. So their job was just to be able to identify the structure. It's not bad. This chart looks a little wonky, if I have to be honest. But that's not their fault. So we're not gonna. All right, let me see. This is someone else giving me crude oil. Okay. We can see where they did the same thing. They identified the high, they had their retest. Really nice rejection candle here. Okay. So as long as they didn't try to jump into the trade, we know that when we're looking for a buy, just in baby format, like my son can do this, you want to see a nice wick at the bottom. The wick is the rejection. All right. The wick is the rejection. If there isn't a wick rejecting, it doesn't mean that a buy opportunity is not presented. You just have to gain that knowledge to learn that, but start with the basics. Start with the beginner. Okay. Start from the very beginning. Just look for those wicks, look for those confirmations, and you'll learn that there's candlestick patterns that are going to pop up at support levels. There's going to be hammers, there's going to be inverted hammers, there's going to be spinning tops. So there's going to be those that you can Google it and just incorporate it. Okay, so they did a really good job with this, and then you can start to see where the market is consolidating quite a bit for about 5 days until it finally, well, maybe more, 6 days until it finally broke out of that consolidation, this structure here, and then came back, did a double retest and shot up. So again, this was not bad. I don't think I'm going to be sharing anybody's that doesn't look good, to be honest. All right, so this was one of my stock option students. They did Procter and Gamble. They're on the 15-minute chart. So you can see here where they identify the lows and they have to identify the retest. Again, one of my favorite entry strategies, it's a break and retest. Very simple, not hard. Whenever you're looking for a retest, it's like I told this to my team today, you want to see if you can identify a U. All right, there are different types of retests. I'm going to make that very clear. This is designed for beginners. This is not for the advanced people to sit here and talk on here and act like they know everything. Don't be on here then. Go to somewhere that's on your level or somewhere where you're going to get challenged. I don't have time for egos. I'm here to help people, okay? So what we're going to do here is we're looking for U's. We're looking for the market to make U's. Now, they're on the 15-minute. So what you want to do when you're trading, you want to identify when that level of structure was broken and how long did it take for that retest to occur. Okay. Does that mean that this is not tradable? No, it does not mean that. This is tradable for someone with more experience. But for those that are waiting for that retest for confirmation, you have to see, okay, look, we're on the 15-minute. This is 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 1 hour. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 hours. So this took about 3.5 hours to give you a setup. Now, because the stock options or stock market is not open 24/7, this person would have had to hold a trade overnight. But if they did, that market structure was beautiful. It literally broke and created that new low. Okay, so you can see where it broke down, it gapped down, and then it created its own support. So this gives them the option to hold the trade overnight. Now, let's say, for example, I want to get into stock options, but I work a job and I'm not able to trade during regular hours. I can't do that. My schedule doesn't allow it. Well, this exercise alone is letting me know that if I can try to go to the bathroom or try to take a lunch break right before the market closes, I can possibly get into something and literally right before I have to go to work the next day, it'll hit my take profit or it'll hit my target. And if you're swing trading, obviously this is doing very lovely, like it's continuing. but you can hold a trade overnight and make a decent amount of money. All right. Same thing again. Look at the next day. This is October 2nd. The market breaks. It takes literally all day to come back and make a retest. So right before the market closes, right before 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we have that retest. We have price showing that rejection, respecting that market structure. Price has not been able to break its own little resistance level that it has created just with price action. So we're getting into the trade. Okay. What happens the time the market opens? 30 minutes in, bam. So you getting into the market right before it closes, and within 30 minutes, it's hit your take profit and you can get out. So again, if you have a job and you're not able to sit there in front of your screen, this is an option for you, but you have to understand that when you're doing this. Don't just look at it just for the entries. Look at it to see if you can create a trading plan that's going to work in your favor. Okay. So let's move along. The next day we get these nice little retests, but again, right a little bit sooner than before the end of the day. So this one was a little bit sooner. It does that, it hits, comes right back up. So within 15 minutes, you had to hurry up and get your money. Otherwise, you had to hold it throughout that day. But for the most part, that's what it's been doing. This person did a really, really good job. All right, I'm gonna look at their next one. They stuck with Procter and Gamble. Cool, no problem with that. And they did buys and they stayed on the 15-minute. So same thing here. They were looking at the buys and you can see where it broke in retest. Now, for me personally, I would have to say that the buys on this, as far as the price action, is a little bit more difficult to identify. So I wanna shout them out for being able to identify these because I feel like it would have been more obvious on a 5-minute time frame. And why am I saying this? Well, I'm saying this because remember I told you for the sells we're looking for like a U. Well, for the buys, I like to look for the market to create an N. So I'm looking for it to create like an N at support, show rejection, and then go up. Create an N, go up. So the fact that she was able to do that with these little miniature retests, I respect that a lot. That's great for her because she's going to be able to identify entries much better. So something that I like to do, and you probably have seen this in my other videos, is that if I see like a miniature retest on the 15-minute, the 30-minute, the 1 hour, whatever, I'll go down to a smaller time frame just to confirm that it's creating that N or that U. And then my last confluence or confirmation to get into the trade is the price action, the rejection. Okay, I need to see that. You okay? All right. I'm good. All right, let me look at the next one, you guys. Here's somebody else, okay? They're using Microsoft. Microsoft is actually one of my favorite stocks to trade. It pays very well. It does require patience. I'm gonna be very honest with you, okay? I see some of y'all hopping on YouTube from IG. Welcome, welcome. Mia, yes, this will be posted, my love. I will keep this up, all right? And don't forget to participate in the homework. Send it in the groups, you guys. Send the homework, all right? So here we can see where they have this support identified, but I would have liked to see this arrow dragged over here to this resistance. You see this right here, guys? I would have liked to see that just to, so that they can identify, okay, what exactly is this retesting? What structure is this like creating off of, right? Where did this come from? So for me as an educator, I need you to show me where is this coming from. If they weren't able to identify that, well, good. They'll watch this video, they'll see me play it back, they'll play it back, and they'll realize, no, I want to see you turn a resistance into support, not a support into a support. I want to see that it is converting. Okay, that's what I want to see. This came back and did a double top, a double bottom. Now I know so many of you have laughed at me for using the terminology double bottom and double top, but I don't care. It works, right? So this is old school. Okay, guys? Anytime you see that double bottom, what you want to look for when there's a double bottom, you want the market to either come back and retest the middle of that W for a continuation up. If you're more advanced, you can use your Fibonacci as a confluence to get into that trade, or you're looking for new structure to form above that previous high, which literally happened here. And they were able to use this structure here to guide them on, okay, why did this retest here? Anytime you have that question and the market is pulling back to an area, you have to ask yourself, why did it do that? And your answer is always going to be look left. Unless the market is creating new highs and new lows, that's a different story. But if you have existing data to work with, your answer is always going to be look left. Why did this do this? Look left. Can't see it on the time frame that you're on? Cool. Go to a higher time frame and then look left. The answer will be there. Okay? Same thing here. They had a resistance, broken retest, very nice rejection candle, a little bit of sloppiness here. Then we have a nice resistance here, broken retest. This person did absolutely great on their homework assignments. All right, I'm pulling up the next one. Oh, nope, can't use that one. Let me see. Here we go. Oh, this one's small, but hopefully you can see it's really small, unfortunately, so I can't do much with that one. Let me see if this one comes in big. Yeah, I don't know why these didn't come in big, but they did a really good job. All right, I'm not going to go over it because it's small. I don't know how it's going to look on your screen, so we won't do that. Let me see something. All right, another homework assignment I gave them was to identify levels. I had them identify weekly, daily, and 1 hour levels. Okay, we utilize that a lot with stock options. We use obviously weekly for swings, daily for swings, 1 hour for intraday or for 24-hour holds. 1 hour charts usually will give us some indication of like where to take day trades from while we're dancing around in between those swing levels. Someone asked me, do you mark the wicks? I mark wicks if I am going to be day trading. Oh, thank you. Last girl on earth, I'm telling you, girl, I love you. You always be coming through. Like, she is a girl's girl. I just want everyone to know that. Like, she's the best. Um, so yeah, I do include wicks for stock options because I am utilizing these smaller time frames, and a wick on a higher time frame is price action on a smaller time frame. So yes, I do. If I'm trading forex, it's not that much, it's not that big of a deal. Futures, I will use it because futures is so volatile, especially I trade NQ. So I try to have it like perfect to the T. This helps me avoid like slippages and I don't have to worry about like too many manipulations. So what I'll do is when I'm doing that, I will keep one higher time frame open and one lower time frame open to see how the smaller time frame is reacting to that higher time frame level. And if I think that it's breaking my level on the smaller time frame, I'll look at the candle formation on the higher time frame and they have to correlate. If they don't correlate, I'm not assuming that that level is broken. I hope that did not go over your head. But this person did a good job with their levels. Stock option levels are really difficult. Sometimes if you have OCD like me, I don't even know how to say it. Like, so I'm spoiled with Forex and future levels being so kind. Stock options, sometimes like it'll be perfect, and then all of a sudden you get this like ugly gap and it's just not perfect. And there's nothing that you can do about it, but just handle your OCD. All right, so this person right here, they did Chevron, which is a very affordable stock to trade. The contracts are an average about like 60 to 100 bucks. Sometimes cheaper actually, but Chevron is really good, especially on the days that we have our crude oil inventories. Okay. I'm looking at everything, love. I've gone over, well, I don't have any Forex homework because it's my stock options team, but we do futures too. So it's futures and stock options. This is for my economy team. They all submitted their homework and I'm just reviewing it so they have a visual. All right, so right here, they found this support here, you guys, and then they were able to identify that retest. Remember what I said earlier, that double retest. That double retest is what gives you that really strong momentum, right? And then when you have that little M pattern form, this one's a little lopsided, but when the market breaks and retests the middle of that M, that usually is a continuation down, and they did really, really good. Now, I like how they utilize their fractal here to help them identify this low, and they can see where the market came back and did a retest. It even did one here, but that was really, really good of them. They did a good job. All right. This is the 15-minute that they're doing, love. I don't use Heikin-Ashi candles because Heikin-Ashi candles give you, if you trade Forex, they give you about an 8 pip drawdown. I have minimal drawdown in my trades. I can't afford for more drawdown. I think Heikin candles are good if you want to stay within a trend. Um, but my price action like knowledge is impeccable. I don't know how else to say it. So are my students. So I rely on that instead. Nothing wrong with using Heikin, but I don't like the delayed entries on it. It may look good, but if I convert it to Japanese candles, there will be some slippage, or not slippage, but drawdown. This is good right here, you guys. You see this? Your resistance came back, did a double retest, resistance, retest. This is perfect. So this person did a really, really good job. Oh, congrats, Anthony. Fifth year trading and finally being consistent. That's how it is sometimes. It is like that sometimes, love. But you're doing it, and that's all that matters, and you're not giving up. Wait, what did you say? Control plus. Wait. There we go. All right, so this one is QQQ. QQQ, oh, thank you so much. Thank you for your comment on Instagram. Thank you. All right. So this is QQQ. For any of you that trade NQ or the NASDAQ, QQQ is the stock options version of it. It's one of my favorites. It's where I made my first, like, I don't know if you guys saw my interview with Calvin, but SPY and QQQ and Apple is what I first traded as a beginner. QQQ is what elevated my trading because I had so much experience trading the NASDAQ from Forex, and like it just worked for me. Like I could buy lots of contracts and it just worked for me and there wasn't a lot of risk. So right here we have our support. Price comes and actually does a retest here and a retest here. So what I would have liked for this person to do is identify their retest on here. They did a great job identifying structure. I really like these candle colors too. But I would have liked for them to plot what they identified as a retest so I can see that they understand what's being taught. So this is, to me, I would consider halfway done, beautifully done, but I want to see a little bit more. Okay. Oh, this one's too light. Hold on. And the reason why I'm covering market structure is because so many people struggle with market structure, like so many people. And market structure allows you to trail your stop losses. Okay. So when I'm in a trade, for example, let's say I got in right here, and I'm in the trade, I will identify market structure to know when to move my stop loss up, when to drag it up, when to drag it down. Right? Shout out to Nigeria. All right, so here they have a high, they have a retest. Here they have a high, they have a retest right here. So there's a high here, right here, and it did retest it here. Okay, guys? This was missed, but that's okay. Here we have a high, retest, retest, very good. This person did very good. Let me see. And this is on Apple, you guys, okay? So here's another one right here. Apple came down, made that U formation that I'm talking about. Broke, made that U formation. 2, 3, consolidation. But what I'm loving here is that during this consolidation, we are forming lots of U's. This is a good sign to sit on your hands and wait. The market has not broken above this area. There's no reason for you to exit this trade. You need to learn how to just chill, period. Okay? We break, we come back, we do the same thing. So we can see Apple for this month, I believe this is July. Apple has a tendency to do quite a bit of consolidation. There's about 3 to 4 retests before it makes a move in the actual trend. So if I was trading Apple long term, I would consider purchasing a longer term contract just because of the behavioral pattern of what I see here. If I go, what I would do to back test this further is I would go back to the July prior and the July prior and see if it always does that, because sometimes summer months can move sideways. So if I was trading Apple for swings, they do move in the trend, and it looks like it took about 30 days. No, it took about 2 weeks. That is something that I would look into. Okay. Let's see who's next. Let me see. Oh no, nope, nope, nope. I can't use that one. I think someone. Oh, this person did a good job. Let me see. Okay, hold on, y'all. All right, here we go. All right, here's another one. You guys have no idea how much I love, love, love a clean chart. Like, you have no idea. I love when you guys do this. Do you see how clear this is? Do you see how you don't have to give me extra nonsense? No, no extra. Like, just do what I ask and you'll see. Okay. So look at this. The high, bam, break and retest. They actually had an opportunity right here. So if you look right here, you guys, there is a high. They could have literally dragged an arrow here. That could have been an opportunity for them to compound an entry. Okay. They could have compounded an entry to take it up. I use Fibonacci often. You don't need it with stock options too much. I trade SPX, which is more volatile. So I will use it with SPX, but with stock options, literally, like you guys, this is micro strategy right here. Okay. You see what I'm doing. You see how easy this is. We're drawing levels and we're doing break and retests. Like it's easy. All right. So break and retest, break and retest. I have to show a bad chart. I haven't gotten a bad chart yet. The one I saw had other drawings on it, but I will. I'll try. But my students are good, y'all. They listen to me. I don't know what to tell you. But we'll see. We'll see if I can find one. But there you go, okay? Let's see. All right. Um yeah, see, I don't know what to tell y'all. My students, they're amazing. Like what y'all want me to do? Oh my goodness. Right? And then I know some of you may come from like Forex and futures, and I've said this on plenty of my interviews that with stocks, when it moves, it moves. When it goes up, it goes up. When it goes down, it goes down. And then we have obviously moments of consolidation. But I've said this several times, so hopefully by you guys looking at this information, you can see that my information correlates with what I said on these podcasts and why I transitioned into this. Okay. And this is, again, this is very good for people right here. If you're not trying to day trade, like you could hold a trade. This is on the 1 hour chart. So this person, this is a 1 hour chart right here. You can see this is the sixth, this on the 16th of January. They're back testing January. But just look at that momentum. Just look. And this would make you a couple of grand just off of one contract. If you held this from here all the way to, let's say, here, if you held it to here, great. Like the all the way over here, awesome. But if you just held this for a couple of days, you could have made a couple grand or like 15. I think 1500 is low, but I'm a low ball it off of one contract. Okay? Right? Hold on, sorry. Oh, you're wasting your time with that stock. I'd have to. What are you talking about? Hush. Don't nobody want to hear what you have to say. Go on your own live and talk about it on your own live. Don't listen to what anyone says. Don't listen to what anyone says, you guys. Seriously. Do your own research. Not discrediting them. I don't know how good of a trader they are, but do not. All right. Someone says it feels good to see someone around our age trading because many influencers are younger than us. Not to say I didn't learn from them. It just hits different for me. Okay. All right. Thanks for calling me old. What time of day do you suggest to trade? It depends what you are trading. It depends what you're trading. So it depends, you guys. Every trade, every ticker or whatever it is that you're trading moves at its own, it dances like to its own rhythm. You have to learn the rhythm. Do you understand that? So you have to go back and you have to back test. And when you learn the rhythm of your trade, you can dance with it. I hope that analogy works. All right. All right. So that's that. Let me see if I find another one. Some of the stuff that they're putting on here has some of my like paid content on here. That's why I'm not showing it, you guys. So let me see if I could find somebody. Okay, this one is on levels. All right. Right. Someone asked, do you like waiting for the confirmation candle after the retest or prefer getting on the retest? It depends on what you're trading. It depends. Like it really depends on what you're trading. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. You're studying NQ. Oh, NQ moves at specific times, love. You need to go back test it because you wouldn't ask me that question. Like NQ literally moves at the same time, like almost all the time. I would recommend is okay, so someone asked, would you suggest focusing on one chart to trade at a time? Absolutely. Absolutely. Like 100%. You try to look at too many things, it's gonna like you're gonna be all over the place if you don't have experience. Even if you have experience. Okay, this was just someone drawing their levels. They did a really good job. My only correction to this is that they identified a higher time frame resistance over here. But do you guys see something? Maybe you guys can identify. We've been on here for quite a bit. Do you see something that could use improvement? So they identified where it could go if it goes down, but what happens here for the buy? How could we correct this person with positive feedback, positive reinforcement? Someone asked, is levels and market structure the same thing? No, levels are areas where the market has that's been attracted to several times. So think about like a magnet. The market is attracted to those levels. Market structure is when new highs and new lows are being formed. So we use market structure to determine if there's trend continuations. We use market structure to determine if a reversal is going to happen. So they're two different things. You are going to see market structure by levels, but we utilize market structure to help us determine those things that I just stated. So they are two different things. You just happen to see market structure at the levels. Why is PayPal paying me money? I'm not worried about the slippage. Don't worry. What I'm asking is look at the arrow, right? Look at the arrow, you guys. ES is going to kick your butt. Stop trading it. And ES doesn't even pay well. I would say SPX now on stock options. Oh, sorry. Love the Profit. Yes, you got it. I'm sorry. So Love the Profit answered. There is no level above. You are 100% correct, Love. So when you guys are drawing your levels, there's something that you need to understand. Your levels are, and it's what I told my team this week or last week, I forgot, but one of my recent lessons. Your levels are your foundation to your home. They are your map to direct you for the week. Okay? Your levels are your Google Maps. You do not want to be in a trade and wonder, where do I take it to? Have any of you experienced this? Yes, you can set levels that aren't there. I actually have a reel on it on my IG. It's stock underscore Bae, BAE. You can use pivot point standard to help you, or you can utilize Fibonacci to help you if you're more advanced. And it works every time. Yes, your levels are your GPS. That's what I told my team. Yes, that's exactly what I told my team. Thank you, twin. Someone said I happened to get into a confirmation candle after a break in retest, and it was the last high point and started reversing. To avoid this, should I have looked at a higher time frame? Yeah, and you probably should have had that resistance level notated or whatever direction you were going. I think it was a buy. But yes, that would have helped you. Yeah, so you need to know where to. Oh, it's hi. Pivot's the guide. Yes, so you need to know where to take it to. That would be my correction to this person. All right, we're almost done, y'all. All right, here's another one right here. Oh, quick question. How do I get my orders filled easier when trading SPX? Use market orders instead of limit orders. But it sounds like you're only trying to get in when there's a lot of volume, and you probably need to work on your entries a little bit better so you can get in right before the volume hits. This exercise that I'm going over would help you with that. It sounds like you're trading breakouts, or you're trying to trade while there's momentum and it's taken off without you. All right. This one's beautiful. I don't know what ticker this is. I'm not a fan of the price action, like the price action here, but for the most part, it looks good. It looks good. They did the same thing here. I want to know what ticker this is. Oh, you're welcome, love. This one's good. It's a little ugly. Not their fault, but it's just ugly, like this ticker. I don't know what this is because they don't have it. They have it blacked out. But oh, CVX. Okay, CVX. Well, I don't like how it looks here. What? I don't even know what time frame they're on. I can't see any data. All right, let me see. All right, someone gave me Broadcom on the 1 hour. All right, ticker AVGO. And um you guys look here. You can see I'm not a fan of indicators, but it is what it is. Yeah, that was CVX, you guys. I realized it after the fact. It was a lot going on. But here they have the high, they have the break in the retest. They have the high, they break in the retest. So if I was looking at this, it looks like when trading Broadcom on a 1 hour, it doesn't always come back to market structure to make the 100% retracement. If you are a Fibonacci trader, this is probably a 3820 retracement. Okay, so if you trade Fibonacci, this most likely does 3820s. Just so you guys know. Okay, when you're trading market structure, if you're looking at Fibonacci, the market structure levels on your Fibonacci are the 50%, the 100%, and the 0. Your minus 27 is going to be the new structure that's going to form in the future. Like it's going to be, that's new structure. Okay. So for my more advanced people, your 50% are usually where most stocks like to retrace. Stock options is very, very, very predictable in that case. Oh, hello, Josiah. Welcome. All right. Let's see. One of my traders said, let me see what he said. Hold on. He said this morning US 30 had a clear rejection set up of Fibonacci level and market structure. I backtest per your guidance and showed US 30 moves mostly on Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays. I skipped yesterday based on that, expecting reaction to the news this morning, and it paid off. Oh, look at that. Okay. All right. I see y'all. Thank you, Smoke Two Trades. Um, I love Fibonacci. Like Fibonacci is like right there with my children. I don't know how else to say it. I love Fibonacci. All right, so look at this. This is US 30. They're on the 5 minute. They're using an indicator. I don't know what the indicator is. No, we don't have a lot of manipulations in stock options. You can see here there's market structure. So if they were utilizing market structure, they could have drawn a little line here and they had that break and retest. Now, what I would have done, okay, we see the U formation like we talked about earlier, but I probably would have gone down to like the 3 or the 2 minute just to confirm the rejection of the price action due to this being a bullish engulfing candle. So for me, if I was trading this personally, I would have just gone down to see maybe if I have a shooting star or doji or some type of rejection candle in the smaller time frame, just so I can feel good about getting into that trade. But this is a 50% retracement on the Fibonacci as well. So they did really good. I'm proud of them. They said another one that they got into, they did the 5 minute and the 1 minute. This was on Netflix. I'm going to share it with you guys. All right. Okay, so they can see my only thing about this is they don't have a level as to where to take it to. That is my only thing. But they got in right here on the break and then they went ahead and they used the 1 minute to help them identify that a retest that occurred. So you guys can see they had a break on the 5 minute and they went down to the smaller time frame to identify that N. Oh, you can hear my music? That's never too much radio on Pandora, one of my favorite stations. Just so y'all know. That, Candy Rain, Stevie Wonder, all of them, my favorite stations. Okay? But you can see very clear end pattern here, and it shot up. So do you guys see how they took that break of the level on the higher time frame to go ahead and dissect it on the smaller time frame? Do you guys see what I'm talking about? You guys are getting a full training over here. All right, you wanted me to show you a not so good one. I'm going to show you a not so good one. Someone asked for one, right? All right. And this has nothing to do with the person. What was the news this morning? We had FOMC speak, and we also had some other high impact news. All right. So what they did here was they literally just like it wasn't what I wanted, to be honest with you. This is Home Depot, but they were able to identify the buys. My only concern was that did they use an indicator for this? That's my concern here because if you know me, I think indicators are great if you want to use them or whatever, that's on you. But as an educator, I need to know that you understand what I'm teaching you first. Your indicator should just make it a little bit easier for you so it's like kind of like less work, but you need to know what to identify because if you start relying on indicators, you're going to lose your edge. You're going to lose your edge. I want you to always be sharp. Always. Okay. So this right here, we had a retest. I don't see any highs like this. You see, it's pretty ugly, you guys. Right here, we had a break and retest. So if we look at this, an arrow should have been drawn here. It came back and retested. For my more advanced people, we have an inverted hammer. It goes up to previous structure. Bam. Okay. The market comes back down and does a retest. What did it do a retest to? Well, it did a retest to like this little level right here. Okay. This little high that was formed. Again, this was not identified. So this is an example of something that did not meet my expectations, but with this critique, they can work on it and they can move forward. Over here, we have a high. They can draw an arrow and they can see where the market created that end that I tell you that I look for, and then it shoots up. Here's a high. It broke, it retested. Okay. Here's a high. It broke and retested. So this could have had a little bit more work could have put into this or effort to satisfy me. All right. Here's the last chart, you guys. Right? Oh, thank you so much, Zarius. Here's levels. Okay. Do you guys see these levels? Nice and clear. This is Shopify. Why do you have arrows over the high? Because we're talking about market structure, love. If you missed out on the lesson, I'm sorry because we're towards the end, but you could find all that information on the playback or on my YouTube. Okay? So these are their levels. They did a good job drawing their levels, okay? Not bad. You can see here, right here is a little bit of slippage on this on the 1 hour. Again, not bad. Let's see what else we got. All right. So these are their levels on the 1 hour for Neo. Neo is a very, for me, slow ticker. You have to buy lots of contracts to trade this. This is not one of my favorite things to trade, if I have to be honest with you. If you buy Neo, you got to do like 20 contracts because it just moves really slow. Not bad in identifying the areas that price respected. So remember, when we're talking about levels, we're looking for where price has respected. By respect, I mean that it went to the level, kissed it, and moved away from it. Okay. I always tell my team, look at this like, y'all ever have that one homeboy or that one girlfriend that keeps going back to that relationship that they know they should not be going back into, and every time they go back to it, then they like things go bad again and they leave, but then they keep going back because they just don't learn, right? Think about a level like that. Okay, it's that relationship that you keep going back to, but is no good for you because the moment you get to it, you just move away from it. All right. That's what I tell my team. Or think about it as a magnet. Now, if you've never been in a toxic relationship, God bless you. Think about the happiness then. I don't know. All right. All right, let's look at this bullish market structure that they did. And this is on Peloton. I said that right, right? Peloton. All right, guys. So you can see here, this one's not so bad. So for me, for Peloton, they have the arrow drawn up here, but the retest is incorrect. So the retest is identified incorrectly. What they needed to do was identify this high here to show that this was retesting this structure here, giving them the opportunity to buy actually here at this doji candle, okay? So the line needed to be adjusted. Now they did identify this high, but this retested this. Does that make sense? I've never had a girlfriend. God bless you. Right? That means that you don't have any gray hair. That means your skin is youthful. You haven't been stressed. You're living the best life. Sorry, ladies, but let's keep it real. We be stressing them out. Okay? Same thing here, really nice retest. Okay, this is the retest. So the right here is where the retest is at on this one. Okay, and then we can see here where it came back down, but it actually closed below that market structure. So because it closed below that market structure, we are not going to get into a buy until those candles either come back on top of that area or we're going to look for a reversal. Does that make sense, guys? No heart attacks. Ah, you know what it is? Y'all, men are just simple. Women think too much. That's it. That's what it is. Some men do think way too much. All right, let's look at the bearish market structure. All right, this is JetBlue. I think the price action is absolutely horrible for day trading. Okay, so looking at this is trash. It's not even the student's fault. The candles are trash. This is trash. If I was trading JetBlue, I would only look for it for like a long term if it holds nice trends. But based off of what I'm seeing right here, absolutely not. I wouldn't even waste my time on it. Just keeping it real with y'all. But you can see where they identified the low. Now, this is not the retest, okay? So this is the low right here that you formed. This is the retest, okay? They didn't do too bad here. This is not bad. This is not their fault. This ticker is trash. Like it's straight trash. All right. All right. So I am done reviewing some of their homework. Let me see. I think I reviewed pretty much everybody. Oh, I said these are great. Oh, these are great. Ooh, hold up now. Hold up, y'all. Hold up. We're gonna end this with a banger. All right, so this is Tesla, and this is beautiful. Do you guys see this? Look at this, you guys. Look at this. Do you see it? Now, the only thing that I do not like about this is that they did not identify the retests. That's the only correction that I would have when it comes to this particular homework assignment. But I love the cleanliness of this chart. I love how they were able to identify that consolidation, and they are in the 15-minute, okay? This is not a bad chart at all. However, I want to see the retest, but they did really, I mean, they did really good. Really, really good. Now, this one right here, you can see this is also Apple. Excuse me, no, not Tesla. Apple on the 15-minute. They identified the low. There goes our U. There goes our retest. Identify the low. There goes our U. There goes our retest. Right here, it comes back. Retest. Here, never comes back. Not till much later. Okay. And you probably have heard me talk about this in my classes where sometimes it'll come back and do a much bigger retest and then it'll like continue. And that typically happens when it's making a retest on a higher time frame. So like we're on the 15-minute, it's probably doing a retest to 1 hour structure or 4 hour or daily. That typically happens, and that's usually the catalyst to that is typically news. All right, some type of news event that does that. And you learn this through experience. So, with that being said, I hope that you guys got some value from this video. Does anyone have any questions? If you don't, just say no, and I will keep this up for you guys to watch. Okay? IG, do I need to keep this up on here, or should y'all just go to my YouTube? Let me know. Talk to me. Talk. I know there's a delay on YouTube. Do you guys want me to keep this up on IG? I will say, please go to my YouTube, subscribe, show your girl some love, please. Okay. All right. So this was your class on market structure, right? And drawing levels. And you can see that we did futures and we did stock options. Okay. This is in my free course, you guys, and this is on my YouTube, this exercise. You have to know this to really step your trading game up. Okay. To step it up. Came over to the YouTube. Thank you, Hawkeye. Yes. Help me get my subscribers up. Y'all been showing me love. I'm gonna tell you that right now. And I have some great stuff that I'll be working on. Um, and YouTube. I'm moving right now, but once I move and get situated, we got some great stuff coming. And I will be on YouTube more. All right. Oh, nice. I share your free course to my friends in Nigeria. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, guys. So go subscribe to my YouTube. It's Say Yes, the number 2 Jess. It's in the link in my bio. Just click on that little YouTube icon and bam, it's on there. But I hope that this helped you. And just go and practice, you guys. Go and practice. All right, y'all. Have a great evening.